Okay, this is the deck timber that Ron dug up during the dedication ceremony of the Noah's Ark National Park. He was using his radar for the journalists and dignitaries, and they found with the radar, Ron saw this, and he said, that looks like a piece of timber, and he had never been allowed to dig anything up on Noah's Ark. Here's a close-up of it, but when he did, this piece had been broken off over here and had fossilized like this. It's as if God had preserved this piece for that very moment for them to see. And what's interesting about it, the Bible says that they used gopher wood.
Yes.
And we've discovered that this is laminated like plywood.
Yes.
Many thin layers put together, which would make it super strong. So you can see here, right here, that part of this wood has been worn away, and you can see evidence of layering in here.
Yes.
And when you look on the end here, down here, let me see if I can get the light down here. Excuse me, I'm just going to wet it a little bit because you can see the layers better. It's getting dried out, you can't see it, but there's a layer, there's a layer, here's a layer, and this is a very thick layer right here.
Yes. Yes, I can see it. Yes. Totally one, two, three, four. 4 layers.
I think that's all we can see right now.
Yes, 4 layers.
But what else is interesting is it talks about it was covered in pitch. You know, he was told to cover it in pitch. And if you'll look right here, you can see that it looks like some sort of a glue substance or something was oozing out here. Like a lady ices a cake, puts frosting on a cake, and then puts a layer on top and it squeezes out. And so it looks like it was pressed together with maybe bitumen or something that was very, very strong to laminate the wood.
Yeah.
So this would have been the actual end of the timber because this glue was coming out. But the other end, can you...
Oh, this is the glue.
That's a glue substance that looks as if it's coming out, see?
Oh, it kind of flow out.
That's the pitch.
Now, if you'll turn this around and put the other end down here, I'll let you do it.
I know, this is so heavy, unbelievably heavy.
It's very heavy.
You know, how can wood be so heavy?
Because it's fossilized. It's been replaced by minerals. All of the wood is gone. And molecule by molecule, it was replaced with the substance in the soil up above and fossilized it or petrified it. But you can see here, this is not an end piece. This is a piece that was broken.
Yes.
And it fossilized that way.
Yes, yes.
It's a very, very amazing specimen. But how it came to be found was amazing because it was in front of all the journalists and the governors and all of those people.
So and they allow Ron to, they actually had the soldier dig it up.
Yes, they had the soldier dig it up, and then as everybody left, the governor of the that was there, who was the head of the event, he told Ron, he says, you take this home and you have it tested. Because if I give it to my archaeologists here, it'll disappear and we'll never see it again. And Ron put it in the big case with his radar. Because that was very heavy and he could get it out with this in it. No problem. They wouldn't have had a problem anyhow with rocks.
Right.
You know.
Right. So this was sent to the lab?
Yes. where we have taken slices of
Okay.
it here. But before that, Ron did take it to the lab, and I'm going to give you a book in a minute where I've published all of Ron's data up to the time of his death. And they did test it and found out that it does contain organic carbon. If it didn't have organic carbon in it, then you couldn't prove that it had once been something living. It's got a lot of inorganic carbon, but any organic carbon at all is evidence that this had once been a substance that was organic at one time.
Understand.
Yeah. Yes, it's
I think
amazing.
it's so amazing that, the Bible is like, man, it's right in front of your eyes.
It is.
And God preserved this to such a time like this.
Exactly. The timing was perfect. The
Yeah.
timing was perfect.
And the time is so near. That's why he's, in his plan to reveal it.
Yes. Did you look at this yet? Okay.
Yeah, please,
Okay. Yes. I was there when Ron found this. He was not allowed to take anything from the actual ark itself. That was what he was told. So I think it was in 1990 or 91. Maybe it was 91. There were a lot of us there, and we were walking up onto the ark. And there, right off of the ark, not on it, right off of it, Ron saw this. And he picked it up, and he gave it to Delavar Avci, who was his taxi driver.
Okay.
And Delavar just put it in his pocket, and then when they were standing on the ark, Ron took it out, said, "Hand me that." And they looked at it, and it's very clearly a rivet and a washer. Now we've
this is the washer.
That's the washer. And we did have it tested. And it is made out of some space age metals. It's got titanium, strontium, aluminum, things in there that we did not even know how to alloy until the 20th century.
Yeah.
So Noah was not a dumb old caveman. He had the wisdom of God with him. Yeah. Pretty amazing.
Luke would tell him about this.
Ron made that. He had that made by the time I met him, that model. And he determined the things in it from radar. Now what we do know is that not very much of this structure was really evident, but what he did, when he would find something on the radar, he would assume symmetry. You know, if he found 2 or 3 of those here and here, maybe one down here, he would just assume. So, but he did, the most interesting thing to me is this area right through here. And he found out from his radar that between these rooms here, we'll call them rooms, cubicles, and the outer portion of where the ribs were, was an intersection that he didn't know what it was. He thought maybe it was a flotation collar. If it was airtight, and sealed, then the air inside it would have made it more buoyant, in the water. That it would have provided some sort of buoyancy. The other thing he thought it could possibly be was for food. You could have put food down in there, but he didn't know. He didn't know. And he found these little cubicles, this configuration. The front of the boat clearly showed a door here. up front.
That's the only one door.
Only one door that they
The
could
Noah's
find.
Ark.
Yes. And it clearly shows inside that door, it goes down and it also goes up. It's a ramp system. So some would have gone down, some would have come up. Now this second deck right here, he was able to find, evidence of large chambers here. And he found evidence of small cubicles here.
Yes.
And then this big open space he assumed was, remember how the Bible says there was one window,
Yes.
a cubit round about?
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know exactly what that meant unless it possibly meant this was the one window, one cubit round about, and it would let, now we're not sure about this is all speculation, but from what he found, he thought maybe there was something like this here to let light in, but we don't know, because this top deck was collapsed.
Collapsed.
It was collapsed, and what he did discover was that there was a thickness here, and then it suddenly became thinner here, then it suddenly became thinner here. So he believed that the different decks, this was the bottom, but then this deck was here, and then this deck began there.
So you said this is like the window?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, okay, so this is one window.
One window, yeah. Well,
one big window.
No, as you can see, it's many.
Many windows.
But we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. We don't have evidence for this.
Mm-hmm.
The evidence that he chose for that was the fact that there was an opening here. And the Bible says, he says, a window, 1 cubit roundabout. If it was just 1 cubit, roundabout wouldn't mean, what did roundabout mean? Yeah. But roundabout implies that it extends some length. So that is speculation. We probably will never know about this because, again, it's collapsed.
Yes.
But I guess Randall showed you. Did you show? Okay, Randall, it's your turn because he's going to show you.
I have a question.
Oh,
So
certainly.
when the Bible said, when he let the pigeon out,
Yes.
so he was letting the pigeon out.
Yeah, he had to open a window to let it out.
Yeah. Open the window. Yes.
The dove.
Yeah. So we don't. That we don't know.
Okay.
But now, Randall is going to tell you about the resistivity scans, and Andrew, where did Andrew go? That they did in 2014, because this is exciting.
Wow, so this is new stuff.
This is new stuff. Nobody's seen this.
Yeah.
It's not on the internet.
What's on the? You can do it here.
Well, yeah, but nobody.
NZ.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
Yeah. And I will give you the files if you want them for all of these posters.
Oh, that will be excellent.
Because what you can do, they're made to be the size. You have Costco out there?
Yeah.
Okay, they're made to fit this size at Costco.
Yes. Okay.
So they're already ready.
Wow.
Now I'm going to turn it over to Randall, who did all this work. There's Randall, right there.
I could not recognize him.
Okay, good. Awesome. Okay.
Basically, in 2014, John Larson, who's our expert on this resistivity, met us out here with Andrew, and we came out to this site and ran these scans. The blue lines going this direction, the long ways, and then 3 going the other side, going the east and west. And so we had, I believe it was 13 scans run. And each line, it was about every 3 meters, there was a spike in the ground.
Okay.
And we would run each scan, would take an hour and a half. and it's putting down thousands of data points, and it's reading it kind of like a CAT scan.
Okay.
If you do a CAT scan on the body, you know, it shoots through, and it's something like that. And then he has a program that ties all these scans and these data points together.
Okay. Okay.
So that we'll be able to get a 3D image
Yes.
of this boat.
Yes.
Well, his computer's not big enough to handle it, but he's doing it as he can.
Oh.
And so what we're finding then is that, like for this bottom part of the boat, we have a deck at 3 feet, a deck at 20 feet, and look here at the shape. See the back of the boat here? Look at the shape of the boat, 45 feet deep. See the shape? And then here in the front, you got the shape coming in. So that's the shape of the bow of the boat. Here's the rock it's impaled on. This rock here. It's impaled on that rock. So it slid down the mountain during a volcanic mudslide. And it broke away the very bottom piece, the keelson, like a sailboat. It broke the keelson off and left it up here at the top. And then the rest of the boat, it tore the bottom out of the boat, 120 feet or so, out of the bottom of the boat that's missing.
Yeah, okay.
And so it's badly damaged in the middle of the boat. But the lower part we're finding is still intact. And you'll see it's got those white areas, we believe those to be rooms. And we have, these are timbers. You know, here we have showing a door and the ramp system. Here is where we hope to do some excavation. This section here, we'll excavate here, and it'll have these timbers showing the deck support timbers. And here they are showing up in the scan. The deck support timbers in the scan. So we got cavities showing up here. We got this black line here. It's the deck timber that's still intact. So in other words, we'll dig down and find a whole layer of that. Whole layer of those timbers for the floor where they walked around. So this is something we hope to do possibly this summer.
Yes.
Depending on Erdogan's work that he's voting on next Sunday. If they approve him, then he's going to discontinue the hold that he's got on the country right now and allow us to go ahead and work. So if everything goes well, we'll be able to get our permit back in force. Because we had a permit to do this, and then we had a permit last July to excavate. And 2 weeks before we brought our crews in, they had the attempted coup of Turkey there, and so it put everything on hold. So we hope to have permission to get back in there and do this job.
Okay.
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 You guys got a lot to look at yet.
Yeah.
You wanted to see something about giants.
Yes, giants.
So we're going to start off really big. How's that sound? Here's the biggest thing I've got. Okay, this is a bone on the foot.
Okay.
It's the big toe
Yes.
bone, the very last big toe bone
Yes.
on a foot. And it's been repaired according to the doctor that x-rayed it.
Okay.
It's been x-rayed, and this person had broke their toe bone, and then it healed up. This is from an 18-foot person, estimated. Big toe bone, there it is.
That is this part.
Yeah, your very end big toe bone.
Whoa. Where did you find that?
Where'd that come from, Mary?
Randall, Ron, I always call you Ron and Randall. Okay, he found that in, wait a minute, let me think a minute. in southeastern Turkey, when he was looking around to try to find the plain where Babel was, and he found that.
Looking for Babel.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not terribly far from Noah's Ark, you know, maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So here's another bone.
Oh.
Right here.
Yeah.
Another large person. 10-footer maybe or something.
I think this probably, I saw this in the video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That someone was showing this in.
Okay. You want to do this one, Mary, now?
Okay, I'll do this one.
You want to sit in this chair?
No, I'm okay down here.
Okay.
Back in about 1989 or 90, I forget which year it was, we were out at, we were in Turkey, and we were out at the village where we believed Noah's house to be. And years ago, they had dug up a grave that we believe was Noah's wife's grave. Now, the reason for that was, and you can see this in the
Book.
Noah's Ark book, Ron had found, before he ever even saw Noah's Ark, he had found a, what appeared to be a tombstone. It was actually shaped like a tombstone, and it's in the book over there. In fact, it'll be easier, I'm sorry, let me get it. You can stay.
Just stay right here.
Yeah,
She's going to
stay
get
there.
the book and show
It's
you the
right
tombstone.
here. It'll be better for me telling the story. You can edit all this out. Let me find it here. Let's see. I think we're close to it. Here it is. His first trip out there, Ron found these stones. This one was standing, and this one was laying next to it. And both of them had these crosses carved into them, which we believe were done by the Armenians that lived in the area, because they were known to do that to all the stones. But what you can't see on here, or on here, was the engraving. You can see a little of it here. It had across the top of it what looked like a rainbow.
Oh.
And see, this was the cross that was
Yes.
carved on it later. And it had what looked like an ocean wave with a little boat sitting on top of it. And it had 8 people walking away from there. And he didn't have any photographs of it. I took these from 8mm film, you know, very old and degraded. But the faces on there, he said, looked a lot like this. Now, this is something else that we found in a museum. But he said that it had one man, the tallest figure, then a woman, a little less tall, then 3 men walking after that, and they were a little shorter, and then after them, 3 women. And he believed that they clearly represented Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and 3 daughters-in-law. And that these were the one that is laying down right here. He believed that was Mrs. Noah's grave, because all of them had their heads up and were walking away, and her head was down, and the eye was like a slit with a little cross over it, like she was asleep. And then the one that was standing up had both the man and the woman's head down. So that made us believe that Mrs. Noah died before Noah did. And someone dug up that grave, and there was jewelry in there.
Jewelry.
A lot of jewelry. And it was sold on the black market. And Ron was contacted by the Interpol to find out, I guess they thought maybe he did it, but he told them he didn't know anything about it. But we don't know anything else about it, except that he was told that there was an 18-foot sarcophagus found, and that it was in the museum in Ankara. And the only corroboration I can give to that is one time Ron and I went to that museum. We call it the Hittite Museum in Ankara. It's not a big museum, it's, you know, just average size. And we went in there one day and there was nobody there but one man who was working. And Ron asked him, he said, I've heard that there's really long stone case been here. And the man says, yeah, it's in one of these back rooms. And he pointed to a room. He says, I think it's in there, but we're not allowed to go in there. And that's all that we've ever been able to find out about that. But we believe that was her sarcophagus. And anyhow, that happened in about 84. And so then in about 89 or 90, we were out there just looking around where the hole for her grave was, where they had dug it up. And we found some bones. And these bones here have been identified by a radiologist and a couple of physicians. None of them want to put their name on their statement, but here's what they told us we have. That we have a human finger with a touch of arthritis. And this is the finger. This is this part of the finger.
It's just 3 bones.
It's just 3 bones.
Of the left finger,
this, and
left
this.
hand, little finger.
Yeah, they actually identified it as left hand, little finger. I don't know how they could do that. But let's say it's this finger. It's twice as long as mine.
Right.
So
this was in the...
It was just loose in the dirt.
Where they had dug the
Where
grave
they
up.
had dug the grave up.
Paul,
And the jewels
your
were
hand over
sold
there.
on the market for somewhere around 70 to 100 million.
See, it's this, this, and this.
okay.
So that is also okay. I think that's because the flood also drowned these giants, these Nephilims.
Yes. Well, they were just people.
Yeah.
They were just people. They weren't any different from you or me. Noah was big. His wife was tall. But look how long they lived. And God obviously changed something in our DNA after the flood. Remember how he talked about at Babel, he said when he came and destroyed the tower,
Yeah.
he said, nothing will be withheld from them if I don't intervene.
Right.
And so it's obvious that mankind was just so bad for him to wipe out the whole planet. He, if you'll look in the Bible at the ages of the patriarchs, their ages were very long here,
yeah.
and then suddenly, immediately after, by the time they get down to Abraham, the ages get much shorter.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it appears like, let's take dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, if you look at a lot of the bones, they are the same animals that we have today, many of them. Only if you have a reptile grows as long as he's alive. He doesn't have a cutoff in his DNA. He continues to grow in size a little bit every year. If you have an alligator that lived 500 years, he'd be as long as this house. And you know, now we have 15, 20 foot, I know somebody found a 30-foot alligator skeleton. But not today, they're fossilized.
Yes.
So apparently man grew larger also.
Okay, but there's also another theory because the Nephilims, it's in the book of Genesis, chapter 6, and those were the giants.
They were people though. They weren't. There's a lot of people who want to say that angels and men
Right.
bred together.
Uh-huh.
That did not happen. I can guarantee you that. There's a scripture in the Bible that says that there is terrestrial flesh and there is celestial flesh.
Right.
And they don't combine. They don't combine. It talks about, you know, these tall, these big people. There were still a few left. There were still a few people like King of Bashan.
Yeah, Bashan and Og.
There were still a few of them left. And they were just a few of the people, like pre-flood people. They were still large, but we just don't have any left now. You know, but it's just another evidence that the Bible was true. That they were big people. They really did exist.